Where were you on the night that the Batman was killed? This is from 1977. This is Batman issue 291. And I cannot recommend this book higher than just go get it. This is absolutely amazing. And what made me laugh when I picked it up, of course, this being older, you could be in the Superman movie. Details inside. Oh, that would have been the bee's knees. Now, what I miss a lot about comic books, other than the traditional storytelling and art, I miss when the cover would give you relatively a visual representation of what is going on in the book. And it doesn't have to be blatantly obvious. All we get with this to lure you in for more is we see the grave of the Batman, Joker writing "Burn in Hell," and we see everyone standing over his grave saying, "And to think I killed him." And so then it says, who's really guilty? The Riddler, the Catwoman, Lex Luthor, the Joker, in this issue, the Catwoman. And that's just a way to dig you in, because you're like, whoa, what has happened? And of course, beautiful old school storytelling styles. And I just love the way that they would kind of just give you this. I'm trying to think of the word. I've not had enough coffee today. It's a visual representation of everything that's going to be going on. We got the villains on one side of these scales of justice, Batman, and of course, Lady Justice being blind. And then we get these great write-ups. I don't want to go too far into it, but who created this book? This is story by David Von Reed, pencils by John Kellnan, inks by Text. How do you pronounce his name? Blaisdell, I think is how you say it. Colors was Jerry Serappi, and the letterer was Ben Oda. I had to look those up because sadly these books back in the day don't credit the artists like they do nowadays. Now, I love how Batman is more of an idea in this issue. We don't really see through the eyes of the Batman. We're just kind of, again, these disembodied third narrators. So here, no one knew how it got started, but suddenly the unbelievable news is out and it sweeps through the dark dominions of the underworld like a firestorm. And I just love how in fire, the Batman is dead. Wherever felons gather, they speak of nothing else. But everywhere, the story is different. Chicago, Boston, New Orleans, San Francisco. It's true, all right, but the main question, the question that's driving everyone's crazy is who killed the Batman? And then because we need to be brought into the focus of the story, we just see these villains outside their, house or whatever. And so they're having a trial in Gotham City. A trial to settle the matter. Everybody's claiming the credit. The biggest names in crime. And they'll all be there. And just a great way to segue into this secluded mansion. Whatever the conflicting reports and wild rumors that have the criminal worlds in uproar, this much is true. A trial has been set at the secluded estate of Colonel Jake the Claw Van Cleve. In these guarded precincts, admission itself is a mark of rank. And except for those still detained in the slammer, the audience constitutes the who-who of outlawry. And I love that Ra's al Ghul, not Raish. Let's get that right. Even Neil Adams has said it's Ra's, not Raish. Ra's al Ghul. The trial to fix responsibility for the killing of the Batman will begin now. Mr. Prosecutor, you may address the jury. And of course, it is Two-Face. I just love that they're using Harvey Dent in this regard. Anytime that he's kind of in a courtroom setting and his villain and always fighting with his duality, it's just a great little way. And we start this whole arc. There's other issues, but this was just the first one that really kind of shook up the storytelling. We start with Catwoman. As the majestic figure in Widow's Weeds rises from her chair, there are gasps of astonishment from those who recognize the given name of the various styled Princess of Plunder, Mistress of Menace, Feline Fury, the Catwoman. And everyone's offended that she's mourning. Impossible. She's never killed anybody. Everyone knows that. And if she ever loved anyone, it was the Batman. Catwoman, there are many here who suffer greatly from the late Batman, and for whom this is an occasion of considerable joy. Speaking for them, I must take objection to your display of mourning. Your Honor, I overrule your objection. I'll wear what I please. I killed the Batman, but cared deeply for him, and I mourn his memory. Mr. Dent, shall we proceed? And we get this cool little mystery. Selena has apparently turned a new leaf. She's trying to live as this character. What's her name? Hold on a second. It'll come to me. Just give me a minute. It's like Ms. Claudia or something. We'll get into it. But they're being held up, allegedly. This is her in her new disguise trying to turn a new leaf. And it shows the Batman comes to take the muggers. And I miss panels like this where they would show just a little montage of action of Batman taking the villains down here to the next one, just to conclude all this gorgeous dynamic action. How wonderful it was to watch him fight, and for once, not be part of it. And what I like is this Catwoman's displaying, or should I say, describing this story. She says that even in the midst of all this, Batman recognized me. I can't tell how glad it is to see you, Batman. Really? How unusual. So you're the esteemed Madame Claudine. It's as if you were watching over me. I think you deserve a kiss. And I just love how he says, let's postpone that indefinitely. As for watching over you, I've been tailing these two hoods for 2 days, waiting for them to spring. And now, of course, in true Batman form, we get a little detective clue that doesn't mean anything to us. We just hear him saying, I think this is how you pronounce it, Vibrisa or Vibrisa. And he keeps muttering Two-Face over and over, which sparks Harvey in the courtroom saying, he used my name. I object. I'm telling it the way it happened. No more, no less. Now, Catwoman says that even though Batman has a quote-unquote let her go, she knows better, that he will tell her to make sure that she is actually living a new life, which again brings her into direct contact with him. And another little montage of just beautiful artwork. And again, we get to the end where she allegedly finally kills the Batman. And just this use, as I said, of third-party narration just really helps push the storytelling, of the visual storytelling, all the more, as we see how Catwoman basically T-bones him into frozen ice water, and she still bamboozled as how Batman could survive in this freezing water, but it makes her have to make a decision, which I don't want to spoil it. I want you guys to read the story, but Two-Face isn't buying it, and as we come to a close in this story, Ra's al Ghul says we are going to take a break, and then we will be getting the testimony of the Riddler. Guys, this was awesome. I don't want to go too much into it because I want everyone to go out and read this series. I can't wait to get 292 and just kind of see how they continued each testimony. I'm wondering, and let me know down in the comments if you all know, but this sort of reminds me of that Batman the Animated Series episode where everyone meets in secret and starts describing how they almost got away with defeating the Batman, and how Croc's like, oh, I hit him with a rock. It was a really big rock. Now, I'm sure that that's not the case, but that's sort of what it reminds me of. And the idea of Batman being more of a disembodied idea through this is absolutely amazing, and focusing on the rogue gallery, which is always what lifts up Batman stories. It's just interesting that Lex Luthor is part of it, or that could be Mr. Freeze. I doubt it, but that definitely looks more like Lex Luthor. And again, just the traditional storytelling and artwork, it is unmatched in any modern comic books, in my personal opinion, because back then they had to be creative and find ways to just draw you in, and we always got such, for the most part, high quality artwork. So if you guys have enjoyed what you've seen, please first and foremost support your local comic shop or wherever you'd like to get your action figures and comics, and grab this whole story arc. And if you've enjoyed this review, really would appreciate if you take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps the channel more than you could possibly know. And if you want me to hit that fancy little bat bell next, subscribe. That way, as I continue to upload content, you guys get notified. Come to the channel. And I love talking with you all and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments below, or our socials, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, everyone.